Good afternoon. It is, I don't know, it's over there charging. That doesn't matter. A little update. Haven't talked to you guys in a while. Just been antisocial and just trying to work on the house, do my thing. Working on some shit as always, but I wanted to show you the rebuild of the catalyst. If you follow me and paying attention, then you knew that all the electronics that were in this guy, and it was an original frame before, a different frame, were all used. It was a great gift from some of the guys I used to hang with that helped me get into this hobby and pushed me to build, and the original version of this was that. And as time has progressed, the frame broke from pushing myself a bit, and upgraded that and got into this. And I had a couple bad pads on the ESC, the power, and there was one other one. So I mean, it was just held together by duct tape basically. But it finally died, which is no big deal. I had a Mamba stack. Let's see if I still have the little jiggy here. I don't know. No, I don't. It's the Mamba F4. I forget what the hell it is. It was the 30x30, the bigger one, not the 20x20 stack that I had from a previous build that I was questioning if it was any good, which it is. I'd put it into here. Let's see if I can move that out of the way here. Hold on a sec. So what I did was I started basically from scratch. I cut all my solder points, changed out all the wire to green to kind of match the flow color of the build. Obviously all the way around. That stupid thing is just going to keep getting in the way. Try to make the wires as neat as possible. With this ESC stack, let me see if I can get in there with some lighting and stuff. This got a weird ESC stack. You see the back wire? Let's see if I can brighten it a little bit. There we go. The back corner is where the pad, the third pad, whatever you want, it could be the one pad, whatever the hell it is. So it makes it just a touch more challenging. Let me dull that back down there. So not so bright. There we go. As you can see, I put some heat shrink on here, just in case the board wiggles around and bumps, it will not short out. That's just a little explicit kind of custom thing. I had a hard time, I mean, there's a decent amount of room. This stack fits in there good. Let me see if we can turn it sideways. There is some room in there, but VTX, beeper, and I put the capacitor on, and that takes up some room. So what I did was, I got my capacitor in there, as you can see, heat shrunk, and then the bottom of it's glued down, and then right behind it, followed up, is where I put the beeper. Normally I put the beeper usually right behind the camera. I didn't like how much room, I had a little less room in it with this than the other setup, so I did it there so it's unobstructed. You will hear this thing beeping no matter where it is in the field. And then I was like, oh shit, that's great. Oh shit, where am I going to put the VTX? So what I did was, I got it glued on top there. It's the VTX 02 E-Sheen. See if you can see it. No, you can't see shit in there. Let me see if I turn this on. You can see the IPEX or whatever it is connector. I always put hot glue over the top so in a hard crash that thing doesn't come popping off. And it looks like it's all good in the hood in there. A little displays on top. What I'm going to do, I shaved the back of this off to give this thing a little more room, and I'm probably going to make a tiny hole in there so it holds this guy up. I went with a little lollipop instead of the bigger one just because of the connector, more connections and cable. I didn't want to deal with it, so it goes right off of the VTX. I flew it once. I did my basic line of sight, make sure it didn't fall out of the sky. Did my line of sight, you know, normal up and down the road, put the goggles on, just did a very slow lap, and then I know 30 seconds of just standard power loop, you know, that type of stuff to make sure anything that was loose, it doesn't fall apart, that kind of thing. Make sure nothing's loose, which I had happen. If this guy here, in its original life, my buddy Quadfather had painted me the cowls to this crazy alien looking thing, not the one that's on here now. And that's when I completely rebuilt the electronics, put an all-in-one in here, and was excited to debut it. I did all of those things, and then I went to, that was a crazy old dust orb. I went into my FPV to fly it, and then I power looped, and I was upside down, and I was hauling ass, and I was easily 50, 60 feet up, and then my video signal completely cut out. I ripped my goggles off and I tried to get this thing to come down, you know, as quickly as I could find it. I was able to get it to flip in that milliseconds, but it came crashing down, destroying a couple parts of the frame. Everything that he painted was completely destroyed. And what ended up happening was all of the wires that had run, where's my finger, run from here up into the top to the VTX were a little too tight because, you know, OCD and all that should have had it all heat shrunk and nice looking, very cosmetic, but it tugged and was very tight on the power wire. So when I must have gone into it, it must have put a little bit of pressure and it pulled the pin right out of the VTX, and it lost power. It was able to recover. I put different cowls and stuff on it before I retired it to this very dusty paperweight. But yeah, so now it's kind of just like a remembrance of where I started, where I came from, a lesson learned in buying what you think is the fastest, bestest thing before you know anything about anything. So now it's just a cool looking paperweight. So I keep it up there just to remind me. It is kind of cool looking. It just sucks. It's kind of top heavy and its flight characteristics suck. Even after upgrading all electronics, it just never would fly as good as one of these guys. This thing is super quiet, super smooth. Oh, and of course, I changed up. I took the lights that were off of that one back in the day and I mounted them here. And these are just the little dip switch ones, so I can make it whatever color I want, white, just to give a little bit of, you know, ambience. If I'm flying in dusk, you can see it better. It does work pretty decent as a headlight, as you know, you get straight light, you get cross light, so I can kind of see, and they are quite bright, so it kind of works. So it is a I'd give 2 thumbs up. My other thumb's on the other side of the camera. I give it 2 thumbs up. It flies fantastic. Nice chill flyer, super smooth, super quiet. I'm digging it. And oh, I think I was saying before, the video signal with that lollipop, just the way it is, was super, super clean. No breakup at all. I was super shocked. You get a little bit here and there going around the house. I had no issues. In this camera, I just love these Caddx cameras. The color's great. The resolution from it, even though it's still, you know, 480 or whatever it is. Forget how many TVL it is, 600-700, something like that. I don't know if that's the 1200. I forgot. Anyway, it's good to go. So thank you for following along. Stay tuned. I'll hopefully fly this weekend and get some video guys for you guys. Peace out.